Reaching back through the history of the Vatican, there are some very dark moments. Setting aside the abuse scandals you've definitely heard about already, there are plenty of other gross things the Vatican would rather you not know. Here are a few dark secrets of the Vatican revealed. When looking at the secrets held within Vatican City, perhaps the most logical place to start is the Vatican Secret Archives. The name itself evokes mystery, and many theories have naturally popped up about what might be held among the 53 miles of shelves and 12 centuries worth of documents only available to a select few. It doesn't take a lot of effort to find people claiming the archives contain evidence of extraterrestrial life, proof Jesus never actually existed, or the true secret name of God, which has been handed down from pope to pope since 463 AD. But the archives aren't really secret in the sense of being hidden from people. The word secret in this case means something closer to private, because they officially house paperwork and correspondence relating to the pope. That said, the archives are not fully public. They're only open to scholars who have passed a strict vetting process, and journalists were not allowed to see the contents of the archives until 2010. Plus, documents within the archive only become available for viewing even to this limited audience after 75 years. The Vatican claims this is because of the amount of time it takes to process the massive quantities of documents coming into the archive. That said, this also means most documents relating to the Church's numerous abuse scandals are still restricted from view, for now at least. In this age of modern psychology, it would be easy to dismiss exorcism as something from the Middle Ages and horror movies. The truth is, though, that the practice is alive and well within the Catholic Church. In fact, Father Gabriel Amorth, the former chief exorcist of the Vatican who died in 2016, claimed to have performed a staggering 130,000 exorcisms in his time. Father Amorth wasn't the last of a dying breed either. The BBC reported in 2018 that the Vatican welcomed 250 priests from around the world to an annual exorcism school because the Church believes there has been an uptick in demonic possessions in recent years. Despite the controversy tied to exorcism, the rite is still carried out in modern times, even by popes. According to Father Amorth, John Paul II tried and failed to drive a demon out of a woman who was brought before him in 2000. Father Amorth claims the woman was still possessed when he saw her later that day, and so he had to finish off what the Pope couldn't. Amorth also claims Benedict XVI slammed the devil out of two guys in 2009, and some suspect Pope Francis may have performed a public exorcism on a man in a wheelchair in 2013. The Vatican Bank is a financial body riddled with scandal. The Catholic Church's primary financial institution has been caught up in so many scandals since its founding in 1942 that entire books have been written about them. The bank was created during World War II to avoid restrictions placed on financial transactions by the Allies. Since that time, the Vatican Bank has become pretty notorious for its connections to organized crime, who use the Vatican's sovereignty to escape the scrutiny of world banks. In the 1970s, the Vatican allegedly tried to purchase $900 million in counterfeit bonds and securities from a mafia-linked operation. In 2013, a priest was arrested for trying to use the Vatican Bank to smuggle millions of euros for the mob. The most famous of the Vatican mafia scandals, though, is the collapse of Banco Ambrosiano. The Vatican was the main shareholder of this Italian bank, which was used to launder money for the mafia. After Ambrosiano's collapse, the chairman was found hanged under a bridge in what was apparently a mob hit set up to look self-inflicted. Perhaps needless to say, efforts to reform the Vatican Bank have been in motion for several years. Following Allied victories in Germany at the end of World War II, Nazis suddenly found Europe a pretty rough place for them and began to seek refuge elsewhere. Thousands of high-ranking Nazi officials, many of whom were war criminals, managed to escape across the Atlantic to a number of South American countries, including Brazil, Chile, and Argentina. According to research, some of the travel documents that ended up in Nazi hands were given out by an overwhelmed, sometimes overly sympathetic Red Cross. Many other Nazi fugitives were knowingly assisted by the Vatican. While it's certainly likely that some Nazis were helped by an unwitting Vatican just trying to get Catholic war refugees to safety, the book Nazis on the Run argues the Vatican chose to help Nazis. The Catholic Church had hoped for a revival of European Christianity and had a significant fear of the growing influence of the non-Catholic Soviet Union. Whatever the reason, the Vatican Refugee Commission, without a doubt, knowingly provided Nazi fugitives with false identities. The Vatican has consistently refused to comment on these events, and the majority of the relevant documents have still not been released from the secret archives. In addition to smuggling actual Nazis out of Europe and into South America, there is little doubt the Vatican also used its privileged sovereignty to help smuggle Nazi-looted gold, art, and other property belonging to Jewish families and other victims of the Holocaust. As Gerald Posner explained in the Washington Post, efforts to get the Vatican involved in making amends or even to open their archives from World War II have been rejected since the 1990s. In his book, God's Bankers, however, Posner investigates the possibility that the Vatican's ties to the Holocaust could be even darker. The founder of the Vatican Bank and the Nazis allegedly hatched a scheme to use Vatican money to invest in the life insurance policies of Jewish families. If true, this would mean the Vatican directly profited from the mass extermination of Jewish families during the Holocaust. In 2012, Italian journalist Gianluigi Nuzzi published a book called His Holiness: The Secret Papers of Benedict XVI, which was made up of pieces of private correspondence and other classified documents from the Pope leaked to Nuzzi by Benedict's personal butler. The book revealed an inside look at the inner workings of the Vatican not normally afforded to the public, including evidence of widespread corruption, and revelations the Holy See is home to rampant jealousy and backstabbing.
Tolerance doesn't live here anymore. It's been evicted.
This leak scandal became known as VatiLeaks. Many, including Pope Benedict's brother, believe the stress from these accumulating scandals contributed to Benedict's decision to resign from the papacy.
You're the right person. I'm going to resign.